Welcome to another Born to be Wild NZ adventure. My name's Saxon and I absolutely love the outdoors. Join my friends, family, of course Arti and I as we explore our country's unique landscape and search for a variety of game animals and fish and make some amazing memories that we'll never forget, both on top of and underneath the water. I plan to showcase as much of our incredible backyard as I can, along with the amazing animals that call it their home.
Well guys, it's been a pretty massive mission coming in here. The drive took about 10 hours, wasn't it? We were getting pretty over it by the end of it.
Yeah,
no sleep
at all.
A couple hours of sorting.
Sleeping in a bloody ute is not a very comfortable exercise.
No, far from it. But this is my old man anyway, old dad, he probably prefers. We're back into a pretty magic spot. We're both armed with the bows this time. So we went last year and I managed to get a nice 14 pointer on the deck and we had plenty of fun, pumped into all sorts.
Cool.
Yeah, great genetics, lovely bush and see for miles. So it's just an awesome playground for us with these things especially. So
it's a lot easier than stalking through Several Jack and shit. So, yeah.
No, we're all very excited, keen to get into it, and so is Arti, as we can see. We're going to make our way into another catchment, find a nice spot for camp, set up for the next about 5 or 6 days, and hopefully just have a blast, get into all sorts of action. So
roaring.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Right, so we found a lovely wee campsite. Dad's just going to sit up there. We've got water not too far away. We're both starving. We're just going to cook up a feed pretty soon. Have a wee rest for about an hour and a half or 2 hours, and hopefully the stags will be our alarm, eh? Wake us up.
I set up a cosy wee second home for the next few days, and after a quick refuel and rest, Dad and I set off in different directions to see what action we could find.
I haven't heard a peep from anything yet, but it's still early in the evening. It's just amazing how open and clear this bush is. It's just stunning. Our first roar of the trip that we just heard. I'm going to let out one wee quiet roar and see if he replies, and if not, I'll just carry on up this ridge, but it's good to hear, very good to hear. There you go. Spoke to Hind and she's just made a hell of a racket going off. I didn't see a stag with her, just looked like she's on her own, but she made a lot of noise in the place on my hunt.
The hind barking certainly spooked the stag, and he shut right up, but soon after I found this cool cast antler, which really shows the sort of genetics in the area. Over the next couple of days, things were a bit quiet, and there was a fair bit of time between each roar being heard, but we were still having a blast exploring this unique place and making the most of any action that came our way.
Just finally had one reply down here. He sounds close enough, so we'll give him another roar.
And just like that, he steamed in, aggro as, not giving Dad and I a very good chance to get the action on camera. Dad let a rush shot go due to the scenario, and the arrow slipped below his chest. Either way, it was a hell of a buzz, and it got the adrenaline pumping, that's for sure.
It's quite cool, beautiful big Kia. It's a funny spot to see one, just because it's all bush and no tops for miles around, but pretty neat.
I take that back. While editing, I noticed it's actually a kaka, another stunning New Zealand parrot species, which I'm super stoked about as this is the first time I've ever actually seen one.
Look at that for a little bitty. If it wasn't for all the spider webs and all sorts, I'd be tempted to crawl in there and hide from this rain, but that is so cool.
It's real softy when it comes to the rain, eh?
This young stag, along with a couple hinds, presented themselves over the next couple days. I didn't have any intention on letting an arrow fly, as it wasn't what I was after, until the dog roll ran out and I desperately needed something on the ground. Arti was definitely going to turn her nose up at noodles, and I was starting to as well. This spiker was a very welcome sight.
Get up over there, Brown. Yeah. Well guys, that was just insane. I'm getting very nervous. I've just run out my last bit of dog roll, and Artie was going to be on pasture with us for the next few days. We've just come round, popped into a hind that was cruising through, seen a spiker was following us, so just let out a wee hind call, and he's trailed his way right in at 10 yards. Unfortunately, his head popped up, and that's all I could see. But I'm very comfortable with that distance and a real solid broad head, so I just put it straight between the eyes, which seemed not an ethical move, but I knew it wasn't going to go anywhere different. And it sacked it on the spot, so we've got meat, got a lovely wee spiker, and yeah, nothing to worry about now. Just getting some big stags. So it's not far of a retrieval at all. Here he is. He's rolled down the hill a wee bit. Oh, that's just such a great feeling. We're stoked. We've just, like Dad just said, we've got the monkey off the back now, and we've got meat, camp meat, and food for Artie, so she's going to be a happy wee dog. But yeah, just like to emphasise the fact that those headshots are certainly not a way to go after bow hunting, but in that situation, really stuck, and I felt incredibly confident the arrow can do the damage if it hits right. So 100% there, and yep, smacked them and dropped them on the spot. So there couldn't be a better outcome there. So.
Pretty good that he come in for right into 10 metres.
Yeah, yeah, it was amazing.
Well,
we're hoping it's going to
stop.
stop. Yeah, yeah, it was. Oh, it was inside of that.
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
Yeah, 8 metres. Yeah, so we're thinking he's going to come up this other face here and get a nice shot in at 20, which I would have hoped, right on the broadside there, but no. Okay, that's a tricky option, but we made it happen, so that's awesome. So we're going to hook him to a bit of meat.
If you didn't hit him there right in the head, you wouldn't have probably got him. You turned.
No, and he would have buggered off. Yeah, he was on to us as is. So. Yeah, great though. Great what that wee high call can do. So,
yeah, Artie, stop giving him a kiss.
So we're going to take some meat off. We're going to stash it here. We're just going to carry on hunting around, and we're going to come back and pick this up this evening. But yeah, what a welcome wee surprise for us this morning. So we've got our back stakes cooling, got our legs over there, and I've actually over I'm going to take the heart out as well, and take the head off. He's only a spiker. I wouldn't usually take a spiker, but he's pretty long actually, so we'd take him back to camp with us as well.
Trophy of a lifetime, eh, Saxon?
They don't get much bigger than that.
Legs up for the day, so it dries the meat out and goes nice and cold.
Take that up in the evening.
Yeah. And then we have the camembert cheese.
There's no better way to end the day than the feeling of success and happy bellies filled with venison heart, which is in my opinion the best cut. I don't think Artie would disagree with me either.
How does that even happen? There's nothing above. Where does that come from? Middle of nowhere.
Someone put it there.
Someone's got to carried it in.
So guys, I thought just share a bit of something with you. For your experienced bow hunters out there, this is probably just common knowledge, but for anyone getting into the sport, I think it could be really interesting. Save potentially a few injuries and some money down the long term. Here I've got my bow, I've got a 100 grain broadheads on the end here, so it's a fairly flat shooting arrow. You've got your 100-yard sight tape usually set up, so I start off at 20 here, and maybe you've got a new bow and you've just gone onto the range and you want to test out your limits and test out how far you can shoot and gradually going through. If I was to push it out to 80 yards, which is that's here, it's about 85, and I'm just testing it out on the target. If I draw back here,
I've clipped my sight. Now what would happen if that broadhead was sitting slightly to the side and it actually surpassed the sight and I came back to full draw, I released that, it would hit my scope, and I have absolutely no clue what would happen. I'm sure it's happened to people before, and it could be incredibly dangerous. A couple times on the target I've drawn back with my field points at 90, and I've actually noticed that it's going to hit the scope and I draw back down. I'm really lucky I haven't let that go. That's for quite a flat shooting bow. As for Dad's here, he's got a sight tape that reads out to 100 too. He's got a much heavier arrow with 150 grain, 175 grain in total, so there's 50 grain inserts on the end. It's a lot more of an arc. We just had a look before just to test it out. He can only go out to 65 yards. So the stag of a lifetime runs off to 75, and he knows and he wants to have a crack because he's got that pin there, lets it go. I don't know what would happen, but I think he'd be very sore, and I think that arrow would splinter off into his arm and the sight would certainly be gone. So there's just a trick for you guys. Before you go out on your next hunt and you're on the range, check how far you can actually go. Might not be that full 100 yards.
Now back into the adventure. A reply and plenty of stag sign gave us hope. He was fairly quiet to begin with, but eventually got right into it as the evening approached. Frequent hind calls racked him right up. And this was all he gave us. You can just see his antlers appearing over the ridge.
What happened, Dad?
Oh,
We thought he was a baby, eh?
Yeah.
Sounded
Sounded like a little spiker.
a sick cow or something.
He turned round and he started coming in, and it got in behind the tree with the antlers either side,
It was a nice head too.
fully drawn, right on, just waiting for him to just move out and
Gone.
get it.
Oh,
Gone.
he was a beauty. You just look back at the footage and he's just very long, nice shaped head. Much older than we thought, but wow. What a exciting end anyway, eh?
Yeah, didn't get the arrow away, eh?
No.
We decided to split ways again. I ended up running into a bit of action. This 3-pointer certainly wasn't a big improvement from my mighty spiker a couple days earlier, so him and his one spike friend were safe from me. He bravely roared away, holding about 6 hinds. I'm sure that'll be short-lived once the big boys turn up in his neighbourhood. Still a great buzz to sit only 20 yards away soaking it all in. I'd finally found an area holding heaps of life. What a great feeling that was. This tidy wee 10 popped up from out of nowhere. It certainly got me excited, but he was only very young with plenty of potential. Dad and I told plenty of stories about the day, both of us having some really exciting encounters. It was a big mission to get to where I was hunting the day prior, so we decided to take a fly, pack very light, and spend our last full day of hunting right in the good
Started to
stuff.
really rain relatively heavy now. So just started to set up the fly, try to keep our packs and gear dry. I only got the fly section of the tent just to keep nice and light on this wee expedition. But I think we're going to have a bit of a feed and warm up a wee bit and then head up onto the tops into where I was yesterday. Hopefully get into a bit of action over there. But yeah, see what we can do.
We all grabbed our weapons and headed off, buzzing to see what the evening would bring. This was just one of those annoying situations. Dad was positioned right, we let out a few hind calls and a roar, but the stag had different plans and just moseyed on undisturbed. I wandered off and got into a bit of action myself. Not a stag, but being the second to last day, these hinds were far too difficult to pass up. But what a painful stalk.
Was the hardest, one of the hardest stalks of my life. That was just a nightmare. Only thing I had in my favour was the wind. It was great, but it was massively clearing. I was over there on the other side, and then I had 4 hinds feeding out there and had no action on the stag, so I snuck in using these trees and my only bit of cover and just crawled about 100 metres and snuck an arrow into one at 60. It looked good when it ran off, so I'm going to go grab a pack, we'll go over there and check it out and hopefully the GoPro capture the shot. But yeah, bit of a long shot, but it felt good anyway. One upside with it all, it's on the grass, so tracking will be really easy, unlike those beech leaves. And I've got Arti, secret weapon. But we'll go check that out. I'm really hoping it's down because we're miles away from our other camp and I'm sort of needing taka for Arti, otherwise she's hooking into my real meal with me. I'm hungry as is, so fingers crossed. Oh, it's not much, but she's found a little bit of blood. Oh yeah, but more blood. She's tracking it good. Oh yeah. No, I'm pretty confident with that, eh? It's constant trail of blood. She's gone a wee way, heaps more blood, a bit of skidding. Really good sign. I'll be real chuffed if she's down, eh? Oh, you beauty. Awesome. Oh, that is so cool. Look at that, eh? That's perfect. That's perfect. No way, young. What is it? What is that? 60 yards. Oh, I'm chuffed with that. Chuffed with that. Absolutely. Everything about that stalk, the whole lot was perfect. And it's a beautiful wee spiker, believe it or not. I know he doesn't look like one, but he is there. He's got those parts. Oh, that is so cool. So cool. Well, guys, I know it's certainly far from a big stag in any shape or form, but it's such a cool feeling. Just yeah, when you've got a situation like that, it almost seems and feels impossible at the time, and you get in and let that arrow fly, goes true, and yeah, nice, clean, ethical kill. It's a really good feeling, so I'm absolutely chuffed. I think Arti will be too, because she's got something better than backcountry tonight, so I'm going to take off these back stakes and back legs. It looks like a hind, it really does, but it's just, yeah, it just hasn't quite grown out of spikes yet, but it's going to be such gorgeous eating, and I'm absolutely chuffed, so yeah, what a cool feeling, cool feeling. That a few days to rest, and that is going to be the most beautiful tender back steak. Another beautiful back stake. Let that cool off.
What an amazing cap to such an awesome adventure. Great company, plenty of action, and some really special memories that'll last a lifetime. Thank you very much for watching, and stay tuned for plenty of exciting adventures to come.